Well, I'll just go back to my story of December 1955 at Canmore Hospital. And I had not ever worked on my own because I was just a recent graduate. And like Jean said, you were always supervised. You were not allowed to do anything really. And so when I went on shift at 8 o'clock, the night nurse was actually the matron. And so she gave me a report. I believe there were 6 or 8 patients at the time. And she gave me a report and said, okay, now here's a few things about, where things are. And she said, well, that's it. Now I'm going to bed. And that was my report. And I had no orientation or anything like that. But at that time, the nurses were living in the basement of the hospital. And at Canmore Hospital at that time, I think it was 10 or maybe 12 beds. I'm not really sure. But it was very small. And you were on shift by yourself. And so I remember, and also the doctor, and it's the same doctor that we were talking about, had his office hours there. So you were also to help him with his office hours. And I remember that day was utter chaos because I didn't know where things were. I really didn't know the patients. One lady passed away on my shift. They brought in an accident victim from Lafarge, the cement plant down the highway. And then we had office hours and I was helping the doctor. And then about 2 o'clock, a pregnant lady walked in, and I had never done a delivery before in my life. And I thought to myself, all I remember is that if it's her first baby, it takes longer. And so that was what I asked her. And she said, no, it's my fourth. And so I proceeded to do all the things that I was supposed to do, and I remembered. But anyway, she delivered the baby in the bedpan. And I went hollering for the doctor, and he said, get the mat bundle. And I had no clue as to where all these things were that I needed. And that's the day I went home at 8 o'clock, and I thought, I don't ever want to go back, because it was very scary for me, the rural nursing, because I'd not had any time to do that, prior to coming here. So I was very nervous at it. You did get to know your patients very well. You relied a lot on your observation skills and what you saw in your patient. But I found it a very scary time. It was very anxiety producing. When I went back in 1968, it was I worked under supervision to regain my registered nurse's status, and that was a little bit better. And then from there on, things changed a bit, and nurses then were getting more of a report. They were getting maybe a couple of shifts of orientation, and so you weren't so nervous and you weren't so scared.